Hello and welcome back everybody, I am your host Sankan. This elevator is super small, multiplayer friendly and incredibly fast, reaching speeds of up to 20 meters per second.
That video is almost 8 years old now. I was only 14 at the time. Back then, I was completely focused on redstone doors. But it was videos like this that got me really interested in technical Minecraft too. But unfortunately, this elevator's broken now. And it has been for a very long time. Until today. You see, I couldn't just let this design remain broken forever. It's just too good. So in my traditional redstoner fashion, I logged onto the Synergy server and teamed up with Pixie Blocks to fix this elevator once and for all. But we didn't just stop at fixing it. We made it even smaller and even less laggy. And this is the result. Sankan's original design was 6x3, and this new version is just 5x1. The original also had some redstone circuits in it, but in this new one, we got rid of all of them. No active redstone whatsoever. Other than the use of entities, this elevator causes basically no lag. This also means that it has 0 points of failure. Well, 1 if you count accidentally pressing crouch halfway up as a point of failure. And that's not even the best part. It takes the player from -63 all the way up to level 317 in 19 seconds flat, which is precisely 20 meters per second, the same speed as the original. I also made a second version that's slightly bigger, but is much cheaper and, in my opinion, a lot more fun. If you've made it this far into the video, then please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. Also, join my Discord server for world downloads and more. And a question for this video, would you build this elevator in survival if bubble columns and elytra didn't exist? And if you wouldn't build this design, what kind of elevator would you build instead? Let me know down in the comments. Now it's time for the tutorial. This elevator is made up of layers that are 2 blocks high. It can only go up an even number of blocks. An odd number won't work because your minecart will exit the elevator on the wrong side. You'll need these resources for the very bottom layer and these for the very top layer. You'll need these resources for every layer in between, so count up how many middle layers you'll have and multiply these resources by that number. And finally, you'll need these resources to make the structure that aligns the minecarts for us. For this tutorial, I'll be building the elevator 20 blocks high. You want to start out by building the bottom layer of the elevator like this. From here, we want to get our furnace minecart into place. 2 blocks above the top of your elevator shaft, you want to build this setup. Now take a furnace minecart and place it on the rail next to the wall. Once it's bumped into the wither skull, press the button so it drops down. This next part will be way easier if you're on multiplayer and you have a friend who can help out, because you won't have to keep going up and down. Next to where the minecart fell, place an upside down stair and then a sticky piston facing inwards. Be careful not to touch the minecart. Now place a button on the side of the sticky piston and press it. This will 0-tick the piston and push the stair without moving the furnace minecart. Then place a block on top of the stair. Be careful not to place the button on the back of the piston, as this won't make the piston 0-tick, and you'll have to place your minecart and stair again. and repeat those steps until all the minecarts on the right side are in. At the very top, you need to place a redstone block instead. For this side only, you need to place an extra furnace minecart on the same level as your second floor. Then you want to flip the structure at the top around. Now repeat the steps for stacking the minecarts on the left-hand side, although this time you need to place a redstone block on top of each stair. Once that's done, you want to place a trapdoor on the side of every stair. The reason we use trapdoors here is because players can manually place them inside minecarts. I'm using iron trapdoors here, but you can use wooden ones as long as you don't accidentally right-click them. Then we can place in our rails. This is where your activator rail goes, and you don't want to place these last two powered rails just yet. If you want to build the bigger but cheaper version of the elevator, then you can skip forward in the video now, but if you want to carry on building the small version, then keep watching. Now break this redstone block, place a hopper pointing downwards next to the stair, take a glass pane, a chain or an iron bar, and place it on top of the stair. Then place a minecart rail on the hopper, and push a hopper minecart into the glass pane. Then break the rail, place your redstone block on top of the glass pane, with a downwards facing sticky piston above that. Then break the glass pane. Now place a button on the side of the sticky piston and press it. Now you can break the sticky piston. Place a piece of sand and let it fall down. Then plant a cactus on the sand. You want to place your last two powered rails here. Now head down to the bottom, and on top of this hopper you want to place a dropper or a barrel. Don't use chests here as larger numbers of them will cause a lot of lag. Now keep stacking this pattern upwards until it meets with the hopper at the top. Now place a button on the bottom of this redstone block and fill the dispenser with minecarts. Now you can take the elevator for a spin. And the small version of our elevator is done. This is how you can hide the exit for the small version of the elevator. We have to make the wall diagonal like this because otherwise the cactus will break. To finish off the bigger version of the elevator, replace the dispenser with a powered rail and place a redstone lamp in the wall like this, with a button on the side. On top of the lamp, you'll place an observer, a block, a note block, a second observer, a sticky piston, and a third observer. Then leave a 1 block gap above the observer, then place a fence gate, and start building the wall all the way up to the top of the elevator. You want to place your last two powered rails here. Now we need to fill the elevator with some minecarts. With this design, the only limit on the number of minecarts it can store is how high you build it. Once it's loaded up with minecarts, you can take the elevator for a spin. And that's the bigger but cheaper version of the elevator done. This is how you can hide the exit for the bigger version of the elevator. And that's the end of the video. Once again, if you enjoyed it, then please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and join my Discord server. We just passed 100 members, so we're going for 200 next, and hopefully I'll be back with more content soon.